Hello nightmares, welcome back. Today I'm going to be showing you one of my favorite tarot decks. It has been a very busy week. I've been all over the place. I apologize for there being no video last week. I also apologize if you hear any traffic. I live by a busy road. But this is one of my favorite tarot decks, and I'm going to show you why. So, I'll do the Astral House reading another day, but I'm going to show you the generalization of how to read these cards. So, we start with the months of the year, and we take all of these. I'm going to set them here for now, get everything out of the box. Sorry for the weird cut. I just had some crazy traffic go by, and my cat, she is crazy. So, you take this bag. I guess traffic is just unavoidable at this point. You take this bag, and you take these, and you place them in the bag. Now, this reading is just a generalization. If anything sticks for you, cool. If it doesn't, also cool. I'm going to set that aside for now. So, forgive me, my cat, she's running back and forth, and she's just unhinged today. So, we're going to take these, and we're going to place them in a circle going in this direction. I don't know if you guys can hear that, but there's somebody outside just screaming. See, I try to time when to film, and it doesn't matter how you time it. Anyways, it doesn't matter how you time it. People are just gonna be crazy, so the most you can do is just try to work around it, you know. Anyways, I gotta kind of spread these out so I can get all of these in the frame. But usually, you want to do this at the beginning of the year. Or, you know, it's ideal to do it in the beginning of the year, so you could predict what each month is going to bring you. Sadly, I cannot take us back in time to January, but November and December. So, we have all of our months of the year in a circle. Now here's where the bag comes into play. You're going to just shuffle using the bag, and you want to kind of put your energy into it, you know. You want to put your energy into it and put your intention into it, if you will. And I like these cards because they're so very versatile. You could use them for single card readings, triple card readings, yearly readings. You could also do the Astral House readings, which is a more simple, you know, thing to do, but I wanted to show you how complex they could be. So, you're going to shuffle like this 3 times. Boy, I hope you guys like traffic sounds. So, I'm just going to pick an amount of cards out of this pack, and you're going to go around 3 times. So that is our first time. And then we're going to put what's left back in the bag. And usually in between, I'll shuffle these for like 10 minutes, but we're just kind of doing a little quick reading today. Because when I film, because I never know when I'll have a good time to film again, I will film a few videos at a time. And I also am going out to a bookstore today to buy some more tarot cards. They are something I collect adamantly. I have an entire shelf in my bookshelf dedicated to my tarot. I apologize, I just got a notification on my other phone. Every time I think I have everything set to do not disturb, do not this, do not that, something comes through. But I am grateful that I do have good friends who want to message me and talk to me. So, we're going to repeat, take an amount of cards. I like to not see when I draw them, I don't want to see what I'm looking at, because I don't want that to take any, sorry for my stomach. Alright, I feel like I apologize for too many normal sounds, but you'd be surprised with ASMR videos, people genuinely kind of get a little upset when there's background sounds sometimes, and I don't understand why, because it's I get it, some people, oh wait, I've already done that one. Okay. Alright, so we've done our second. And back into the bag we go. I bought this deck, a little history on it. I bought this deck when I first moved to Pennsylvania. As for some of you who don't know, I live in Pennsylvania. I moved here from Missouri, and it was a very chaotic time, to say the least. And when you're finding tarot, sometimes it just speaks to you when you find a deck that you're meant to have. And there were so many decks in the shop, and for some reason I just kept coming back to this one. It was it was screaming at me, It kept saying, buy me, take me home. And I bought it, and in the same room I bought it, there was this open area where you could sit and chat with your friends or whatever. And I sat down on the floor with my husband before he was my husband, and I said, can I practice reading these cards for you? And he was like, yeah, why not? And I sat there and I read his cards, and then I practiced and read mine, and I had an instant connection with this deck. I think I have the most connection with this deck out of all the ones I have. And this is our last circle we're going to do. I also like the pattern that it makes when you go around, and it's a little tricky because you have to like keep them, you know, with what you're doing, but there we go. And then, so we're gonna start with January. So what I do, this is how I do it, is I take each set. So the first one I had was Sunrise, and it says new creative ideas, new ventures, and a fresh start. So for next year, for January, this is what we got. Lighthearted, carefree time and climbing towards success. So it's telling what I get from it. The generalization that this coming January is going to genuinely be a new beginning. There's going to be a sense of relief for me. This is what I'm getting for me. Of course, for you, it might be different. I always try to read cards when I'm doing them over video chat for people, because I read cards for my friends sometimes. Sometimes people will message me and be like, sometimes, as I was saying, people will come to me and be like, could you read my cards? Sorry for the little cut. The mailman just dropped something off. But they'll come to me and ask me to read cards for them. And as a reader myself, I genuinely have a hard time not making readings like feel, I don't know how to explain it. I'll read the cards like I'm reading them for myself, but then I recognize that I'm reading them for a friend, if that makes sense. So like, I'll be reading and then I'll be like, oh, for me, and they're like, oh, I see what you mean. It's confusing, but so for the month of February, we got advice from a friend. A meeting with a stranger could be important. Good fortune. So from what I take of it, for February, it could be making a new acquaintance that brings you a good deal of happiness. That's what I kind of got from that. So perhaps they could give you advice that could be successful for you, could make you have a successful outcome in your friendship. For March, let's see here. Ooh, Secret Admirer, Financial Pinch. Do not be tempted to lower your standards. So sometimes certain cards have, there's two different branches for a reading like this. So these two very much could be, you know, they could go either way. So you might have an admirer. Don't lower your standards for that person, or do not lower your standards for your financial pinch. Do not go to new lows. Or it could all have to do with the same thing. Perhaps your secret admirer puts you in a financial pinch. But either way, don't lower your standards. And now for April, my favorite month of the year, as I'm an Aries, and we're full of ourselves. Haha. But no, I'm an Aries, and my birthday is on the 8th of April, so it's a weird day. So April 8th, it always rains on that day for me, and it's always just weird energy. There's always weird energy on that day, and it just feels, I don't know, hard to have a good day on my birthday. So like, everything could be going perfect, but then my birthday comes up and it's like, if I make any plans, they fall through. If I have an idea to go out and do something, it gets canceled, it gets rained on. So I always celebrate my birthday either a week before or a week after and I do nothing on my actual birthday. Because it just never ends up being a good day. I don't know why. So for April, we got an arrogant, boastful person you should not cross. You will be receiving or giving a precious gift. Parting of ways, either romantic or business. Ooh. Well, I hope that's not for me. Sometimes the parting of ways broken rain card could signify the parting with a friend as well if you do not have a romantic interest. Sometimes you are the arrogant, boastful person. Sometimes it's not another person outwardly directed at you. Sometimes you also could be the giver of a gift too. It really is all about interpretation, and that's why I like tarot, is it's not one set thing. So from what I get out of this, for me personally, is that this arrogant, boastful person could be the person that I part ways with. And of course, you know, me having my birthday in April, either I will, you know, give somebody something or they will give me something for my day. That's what I get out of it. Now, let's see, for May, also, I'm just gonna, disclaimer, this is late, I know, we're like 16 minutes into the video and I'm giving a disclaimer. I'm not a professional tarot reader. I'm novice at best. I do this more as a hobby. I do this as something to pass the time. It's a special interest. It's not something I do for money. It's not something I do for a living. So for May, we've got the King. It says, pay attention to your health. The fair woman, dealings or relationship with a woman with blonde, gray, or white hair. And the Ant, work, achievement, success. So, anytime I've ever gotten a card showing the fair woman or a descriptive card of a person like this, I've never really had an interaction with said person, but I have had strange reactions to people at random times with certain hair colors. It's never on the month though, but I'll often forget that I've pulled this card, and sometimes cards like this can mean something as small as somebody making an offhand comment in a grocery store, or, you know, a small little conversation you have in public. These often aren't, you're gonna have a big whole thing with this person. Sometimes it's just a small little interaction, but I often forget that I pulled these, and it's like, okay. Now, I'm a very diligent worker. I work almost 7 days a week. If you guys know me, or if you know me in person, you know getting hold of me through the week is so hard because I'm constantly doing something. I'm constantly going here, going there. It's all a thing. But the pay attention to your health, I think that could go for anybody, that we often get so caught up in being busy that we forget to take care of ourselves. So it is always good to take a moment to care for yourself. For June of next year, see, I'm reading this as a next year thing because we're so close to the end of this year. For June, we got obstacles to overcome. We've got getting back to the basics and a temporary situation. So for these, I think these all are like a trifecta. Sometimes our temporary situations we think are permanent, and it's always good to focus ourselves and get to the root of the problem, or get to what makes us feel like we have a problem. And those are the obstacles we have to overcome, or the ones within ourselves. Now, for the month of July, we've got, you need to defend yourself. Karma, you will reap what you have sown. And unsuccessful plans. So, yet again, maybe you made something, like a decision for something, and it just backfired. And so you're gonna face that. But God, man, everyone is just out and about today. I try to film at night, but sometimes I just have too much going on and I just can't do it. I feel so bad because I know a lot of you guys watch these to like relax, and I bet if you have headphones in, you just hear this big vehicle driving by, and I'm so sorry. Someone on here needs to make a compilation of every time I've said sorry in my YouTube videos. That'd be so funny. But the need to defend yourself, perhaps it has to do with this karma. Sometimes we get payback for things we have not done, and it seems like the world is attacking us. Sometimes we make mistakes and we don't see the repercussions of them. Sometimes we make these mistakes and think it will not come back to us. Well, I am a person who has made a lot of mistakes in my life, and I can say this: every mistake I've made, I've learned a very important lesson from. So for August, we've got a successful outcome to your problems. Unsettled times, need to plan ahead, and someone's trying to come between you and a friend or something you want. Ooh, so maybe this unsettled times, you see the pattern of somebody creating a wedge between you and someone else. And so you have to make a plan on how to not have somebody tear you away from the things you want. It's not always a person. Sometimes the wedge is between you and your goal. But either way, no matter what you do, you're gonna get to where you need to be. And that's for August. For September, sorrow over a loss. Family sorrow. Someone is extremely stubborn and unwilling to change. Now, this is a little personal for me, but my September was full of loss. I did lose somebody very close to me, so sometimes when you're trying to read ahead, it will tell you what you need to hear right now. And this one resonates with me, as I did deal with a great loss, and I do still feel the effects of that loss here in October. But for you, perhaps your family sorrow comes from somebody being unwilling to change. Perhaps you have to cut this person off because their patternistic behavior is causing you pain. And that's where your sorrow over a loss comes into play. October, my favorite month. How fitting, the casket. Someone going out of your life or the end of a situation. Great passion, deep personal strength, and peace that assure success. So, perhaps your passion is to make your goals to be strong during this month, to make your goals and be successful. Perhaps that involves having to, make a change that changes your situation, or having to cut someone off who is affecting you personally. November. Good advice from a wise person. Someone you know is undependable and insincere. An emotionally secure, loving family member. Loving family is important to you, sorry. Perhaps the loving family comes into play, where somebody in that family is giving you advice. You should probably listen to it. Or you're getting advice over this person here who is insincere and undependable. And December. Beware of great pride. Older woman dealings a relationship with an older woman. Someone is behaving stupidly. So there's many ways you can look at this. Perhaps the older woman is the one who is full of pride or is behaving stupidly. Or perhaps it is you who is full of great pride and the older woman gives you advice. You don't want to hear it, so you're behaving stupidly. There's always so many ways to read these. So what I like to do when I close off these readings is I take all these and I leave my months separate, like I did starting out in the beginning. I've given up on trying to fight traffic. I guess it just is what it is at this point. I really wish that I lived out in a rural area again, because I like the quiet. We live in a city because my husband enjoys it, but I myself do not. I like the quiet and I like the woods. It's always been my favorite. So I go through these and I get everything kind of back on the same page, so I could put it back in the box. I think it's good to, even if you have a little routine with your cards, to just build a connection with them, you know? And then I take my, I missed some cards, oops. With my divination tools, I like to put as much of my energy in them as I can, so my readings are usually more accurate that way. But also, it's kind of like the wand chooses the wizard or whatever. That's kind of how it feels. Like buying tarot cards feels like going to the Ollivanders and Harry Potter. I go to the bookstore, I go to the metaphysical shop, and I just feel, you know? I feel what I'm gonna buy, and then the next thing I know, voila, I magically have a deck of cards in my hand, and by the end of the day, I am reading them. My hair is in like everything. So then I take these, and I just kind of eyeball it and split them in half. And I put them face down back in their little spots. And then I take the astral house and I put it on one side. And I take the months of the year, I put them on the other side. And then I take this bag, put it back on top, and we're all good to go. So that has been the Tea Leaf Fortune Cards by Ray Hepburn, and it was illustrated by Shauna Alexander. I have the book for this, it's on my bookshelf, I forgot to show it, but it's really helpful for when I started reading these. I basically I use the book kind of like an instruction manual for the first time I read it, and then when I go, I just kind of have a book on my shelf afterwards, and then if I'm confused about something, I'll consult the book like medieval Google, you know? But I really hope you enjoyed this kind of chaotic demonstration of these cards. And I hope you guys have a wonderful day, have a wonderful night, or whatever time it is you're watching this. And I'm really grateful for you all to be here. And I'm thinking, if you've made it to the end of this video, I'm gonna make a community poll about it later in the week, but it dawned on me, we're over 100 subscribers, and I need to make a video for 100 subscriber special, and I'd want to know what you guys would like to see for that. Thank you all so much. I love all of you with all of my person, and I hope you have a wonderful day, a wonderful week, and I will see you in the next one.